Very interesting thing you said. If you search hard enough, you'll find the Vida in you, the life in you.
We are a very young brand actually. The Vida, I would say, soul is about optimism because orange in itself is the color of life, and therefore it has this beautiful balance.
Life is
Of
Vida.
life is Vida,
Yeah.
Vida is life. So we kind of brought this combination together. The team brought it together, and it just clicked. For each person, it means something, but it always has meant moving forward.
It's no secret that India is going through an electric revolution, and one of the key players at the forefront of this is Vida, powered by Hero. And to get into this conversation and understanding where the electric vehicle segment is today, I've got someone really special joining me on the Time Strike podcast. Kausalya, thank you so much for giving your time to us, and welcome to the Time Strike podcast.
Thanks, Manav, for having us, and it's real fun to be here.
First and foremost, of course, we'll talk about Vida. I want to understand Kausalya as a person, as an individual.
Wow, okay.
How do you approach this world? Of course, you're a very strong woman leader as well. You've got that representation also on point. So, how are you taking this day by day? What's your thought process? We just want to get an insight into you as a person.
So I think growing up, we're a fairly large family. So I think a lot of women power at home. We were 13 cousins, of which 11 of us were girls. So the boys definitely felt outnumbered. So I think the women in leadership came almost naturally. Very matriarchal family as well. Grandmother kind of ran the whole household. So I think very early days, and we are three sisters. So again, at home, dad was pretty much outnumbered. So I think that part of it is so natural that women are equal. We take on whatever we want to. We do what we want to. And I think very strongly rooted in the power of what education means, hard work means, very dedicated to elements. And I think my first family, I always say that they gave me like very strong foundational roots, right? And so my parents educated us in the best of institutions. We had every choice open to us. And then very privileged to marry into a second family, I think, in which love became like the core. Like it's a very loving, welcoming family. And I think it takes a village to make anyone successful, men or women. I have a very large village, which made me what I am today. So I'm very grateful. I have an amazing partner. He's like the wind beneath my wings. I have two young, I can't say kids anymore, boys, men, who are again my biggest cheerleaders. And I have an incredible mother-in-law who I think helped me be successful because she sacrificed a lot for our family so I could do what I have to do. So I think Kausalya, the person, is somebody who really believes in the village. I also believe, having seen so many role models in my life paid forward, that philosophically I believe that every generation has the moral right to kind of pay it forward. And that's very important for me, whether it's in the work that I do, whether it's in other spheres of life. So that's kind of a core element of why the electric transition also was very exciting, because I think we all inherited an incredible planet. We inherited fresh air and lovely trees and all of that, but we also inherited this ambition to do more with less and kind of be at the cutting edge of everything. But we need to leave a better planet than we inherited. So philosophically, I feel electric transition was one of those aspects in my life where an opportunity presented itself to be a part of something which could leave a better planet. And therefore, in the last 10 years and odd, I've kind of been very focused to see what you could do. Because I think all of us have impact. We can create impact. The idea is choosing where you want to create impact. So paying it forward, whether it's through being a part of what I would say is a energy transition that the planet needs, or working with women leaders wherever possible, helping to set a better planet for tomorrow. So that's a little bit on me. But Manav, that's enough. I don't think I can share anything.
Yeah. No, but that's fantastic. I mean, more power to you. And it's a beautiful thought process behind your approach. I really value that. Okay, so talking about Vida,
Yeah.
great things you mentioned there, like how it resonates with how you personally see what we should do for the planet. Vida, it won't be wrong to say it's a young brand.
Yeah.
And you shared with me earlier that you have a young team also
Very young team.
driving this brand today. let's start with where it was when it first came out. How do you see the journey? Because it's been one of success. So how do you see it panning out up until this point?
So I wasn't in the group then, but in 2022, when our executive chairman, Dr. Pawan Munjal, unveiled Vida. Vida, by the way, means life in Spanish. A lot of people ask me, what does it mean? And he kind of talked a little bit on what Vida symbolizes, right? He said that it basically epitomizes the future of mobility. It's about creating this whole element of innovation, transformation, intrinsically electric in its very being, which will help move what the future of mobility looks like. So it was a new dawn. It was a new awakening in that sense for Hero. And it was a big bet that we as Hero MotoCorp are deeply committed to the electric transition. And here's a brand that comes from the legacy, the engineering capability, the manufacturing prowess, the sales and distribution, the global channel, and most importantly, the legacy of trust that our Chairman Emeritus, Dr. Brij Lal Munjal, whose birth anniversary we celebrated on the 1st of July, he epitomized. And we said, this is Vida. This is this whole bold new ambition. And 4 years down the line, a very young team, it's almost like, I think our average age is 31, which
Wow.
makes me feel very, very old sometimes, is that young team kind of has brought that vision, a very early vision, into a reality today. And there's so much more believability in the promise that we had made, because we now have a credible market share, we have a strong position in the market, we're growing. And it was an interesting point where we were debating that, we always talk about Vida as powered by Hero. That's how our brand logo was.
Yep.
And we kept thinking, how do we create an identity, a new mark that actually visually depicts this amazing combination of legacy with a bold new statement? And it was the internal team that actually came up with our new brand mark. So proud as a peach.
And congratulations to you for that.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we are so proud, because it's so much meaningful when the whole team kind of got together and created something like this. So for us, we looked at what was iconic. Iconic was Hero's H. It's such an identity. You just put that and this belongs to Hero. So we looked at what we really took from Hero and we take from Hero on a daily basis. Really, that level of engineering, that level of might that Hero has, that trust that has. And we took that bold left pillar, and then we said we want to add movement to it, because we are about optimism, we are about moving forward as Vida.
Yeah.
And we just said, how do we create movement? And we just tilted it forward, and it actually looked like a moving line.
So
right?
that's the
Inspiration for the tilt.
Wow.
And we said, okay, that's moving forward. And then we said, what's that missing space? The edge, the line is missing. And if you notice, it's also tilted at 30 degree.
Yeah.
And we said, actually, it's Vida. It is Vida's birth that kind of gave that.
Wow.
And so that became the second parallel line. And both symbolize parallel progress as Hero grows and as Hero moves forward in the world, 52 countries now. Vida grows forward. Vida takes
It's branching out.
Vida takes from its mother, but has her own identity, and therefore parallel progress.
Wonderful.
And that's how the whole new logo came. And then the next element was, Vida was always looking at vibrancy and something being alive. And we said, how do we look at the colors? So Vida is either written in black or white. And I think for us, those colors are, statement of something bold, something sophisticated, something very futuristic, which is how our tech is, which is how the products are. And then we said the Vida, I would say, soul is about optimism, that the world is a better place tomorrow, that we are always at the tipping point of innovation. We always want to push the boundary. So what color kind of symbolizes that? It was orange, because orange in itself is the color of life. And therefore, it has this beautiful balance.
And life is Vida.
Life is Vida.
Yeah.
Vida is life. So we kind of brought this combination together. The team brought it together, and it just clicked. And every time you look at the new word mark, and we are a little obsessed with it right now, it's everywhere. We realize that for each person, it means something. But it always has meant moving forward. Because we feel like the world no longer, you can't stand still. You have to keep moving. And that's where the whole journey began. So that's our new identity. We call it the womb, because it's a kinetic mark, and therefore it must have a name that symbolizes movement. and it's this V letter mark. It's actually a play on the V as well. It's a very subtle play. So it's also Vida, and therefore now increasingly you will see it across our properties. Digital was easier. It starts first, but hopefully soon you will see almost all our physical touch points also take it on. And we were very specific. We wanted to pay tribute to Chairman Emeritus on the 1st of July because for us at the Hero family, he symbolizes everything positive because we believe that Hero wants to move the world, move the nation forward. So it was also the team's intent, and then with our executive chairman's blessing, we actually launched the new logo on 1st of July. It's been like a real goosebump moment for the whole team, and it's been real fun.
Yeah, I'm getting goosebumps. But coming to the brand, I mean, like you mentioned, you are coming from a place of strong legacy and strong foundations, and I think it's this great combination of the brand familiarity, meaning people know what they're signing up for, along with this new energy and innovation that's coming. So we are very excited to see where this goes. So would you like to share where we are going, especially with the context of what you showcased at EICMA last year? The Novus platform, the next one, next two, next three. I think it's something that should be spoken about. Can you shed some light on it?
By the way, it was my first EICMA, and I was blown away, right? Both with the canvas that we were able to showcase, but also the opportunity and the privilege to be a part of a company and a brand in its journey, right? So last year in EICMA, we actually showcased, I would say, Vida's ambition.
Yeah, and sorry to cut you in. I just want to add, I've been to many EICMAs for a long time since, and I know how it has changed. I remember, I think in 16 I had gone for the first time, and India was a very small
representation,
at that global venue. And for our audience out there, EICMA is the largest motorcycle festival in the world. So India's representation was very limited. It was more of a place to understand where the global trends are heading. And this is why I cut you in. The representation of Vida, the amount of space, the magnanimity of what was being showcased. I mean, kudos to you, and thank you for putting an Indian brand on the global stage like that.
No, again, an honor, right? And a privilege to represent the country. Like I always said, Hero is a nation builder. And that's the vision of our chairman as well. So I think in EICMA, and it was my first EICMA, so it was quite an adventure, I think, to learn about it, because we do a lot of auto shows, but EICMA is special from the point of view that the passion that the people bring there for riding, the deep appreciation that they have for technology, the vision that they come with, that they want to be blown away by OEMs, right? I think it's remarkable how Hero and Vida have kind of elevated that stand, and now we are next to none in the world. So in EICMA last year, I had the privilege of kind of being a part of the Vida story, and there we talked quite a bit about how our entire portfolio is going to look. But if I was to just give you a summary of what I realized, I said, we talked a little bit about the Vida VX2 and the energy ecosystem that we're creating. The Vida VX2, of course, is domestic bestseller, but we have ambitions for that product to also go into relevant markets globally. So the fact that we were able to showcase the entire might of the scooter platform, that the e-wooter platform, again, a lot of appreciation for that product. The fact that we are just not invested in the product, we're also invested in the ecosystem. So we showcased our charging ecosystem. We're also one of the few players who really has a strong removable battery solution, which is required both in India and globally. So I think that was like our first statement, that here is a product built in India for the world, and it is globally ready. And I think electric also has a part to play there, right? Because it kind of makes certain technologies ubiquitous, because you can meet emission norms and all of that easier. So we said, okay, we are going to be obviously focused on the scooter platform. The second, we talked about our electric motorcycle concepts. So we talked about two of them. The first is, it's internally codenamed concept UBEX, Urban Explorer. So it's this neo-naked motorcycle, which we believe will be a very nice soft roader. It has full-fledged capability, but it's meant for making urban cities your playground. So that's the first we teased. We showed a concept, and very excited with the kind of feedback that we got from people. People are waiting for Vida and Hero to bring a electric motorcycle into the market. The second was again a marquee statement because we have a technical collaboration with Zero Motorcycles USA, who that technology platform was for a higher performance motorcycle.
Correct.
So we codenamed it VXZ, a little play from our side on Vida collaborating with Zero, and we showcased the concept there. It was again a tease, but again, a lot of positive feedback as we released the designs, etc. So our footstep into motorcycles, and we can't be Hero and not have a motorcycle offering. So that's the next leap. Then we realized that there's a world of off-roading. There's a world of experiential riding which is getting unlocked with electric. And the world is increasingly saying we want more sustainable form factors, less noise pollution, because a lot of this off-roading happens in beautiful settings, in lovely forests, etc.
Trails and all.
Trails, yeah. And then we said, okay, what? And we come from Dakar legacy. We're a Dakar winning company. We recently celebrated the 10th anniversary of Hero Motorsports and in CIT Jaipur. And the idea was, how do you bring that legacy, that DNA of great rally bikes into electric? So we talked about our experiential off-roading range, which is the Dirty. It's a play on dirt bikes. And we said, what do we bring under Dirty? So we officially launched our young riders off-roading e-vehicle called Dirty K3. It's a red dot design winning product. And the reason it won that is because it adjusts into 3 sizes. So it goes from small to medium to large. The idea being the same bike.
Wow.
So it actually adjusts the entire rider's triangle. That's why we won the design award. And fundamentally, the vehicle grows with you. So as a young rider, you can start at a much younger age, but as you grow taller, it adjusts with you. So the element was at some point also educational, because when people learn to ride, they need to learn to ride at a very young age the right way.
Correct.
So it actually teaches you the right way of riding. It's electric, so it's quiet. It's very, very sustainable. It has a removable battery. Again, our ethos continued. So Dirty K3 was the first, and we also showcased our concept for the adult dirt bike, which is MX7. So we again had the full experiential range, and then we said, what's on like the cusp of mobility, right? It's always nice to say your future of mobility, but what does it really mean for Vida? And we actually showcased Vida Novus. Novus is I would say, our innovation frontier, where we looked at what human beings need in terms of mobility and then built a form factor around it and not any other way around. So we showcased 3 concepts, the next one, the next 2, and the next 3. And the next one is this really amazing personal mobility device, I would say, which folds into a backpack.
Wow.
So it's for this awkward last mile. I keep thinking of case studies where, for example, in a tech park somewhere in Bengaluru or Pune, you're parked your vehicle a kilometer away. You need to take a personal mobility device.
And parking is a
is a pain. So it's like a little jiffy ride in. But the cool thing is it actually folds into a backpack which you can carry with you. So it really helps your last awkward mile there. The second was next to. Again, we realized that fundamentally people like to carry their world with them. But most riders, yours, maybe you included, Manav, like the dynamics of electric motorcycle. The feeling of being on a motorcycle. The power of being on a motorcycle. So I think that was a insight into next two, and we bought the next two into being. So you carry your world with you, but it feels and rides just like a motorcycle. In fact, to quote my head of design, when I asked him what's the real difference between a 4-wheeler and a 2-wheeler, and all credit to Tio, he said that 4-wheelers sometimes feel like they're fighting physics, and 2-wheelers dance with physics.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and I think you see that next to dancing with physics. So it's a self-balancing trike format, very, very beautifully designed and conceptualized. And the third was, I dare say, the biggest challenge for us, which is take the footprint of a 2-wheeler, but give us the balance and the protection of a 4-wheeler. So next 3 was born from trying to, again, take two form factors in the best of both worlds and bring that together in the next three. So we call it the quarter of an SUV because it's literally the footprint of one quarter, but completely covered. We showed it, of course, with butterfly doors, but a tandem seating. So again, borrowing from the world of two-wheelers, where so again, three very powerful concepts under Novus, because we feel like the future of mobility, if that's what we stand for, it's not that you should expect the expected from us. We should be able to showcase human-centric design and innovation upfront and bring that to frame. So you should be able to expect this from Vida, which is if you had a
So
mobility.
it will go beyond the
Yes.
general definition of what an automaker should be doing.
And keep teasing.
And keep teasing.
So between walking and riding is next one. Between riding a two-wheeler and a three-wheeler is next two. Between taking the footprint of a two-wheeler but having the benefits of a four-wheeler.
Having scalable motorcycles as well.
Yes.
That's
So it's a full spectrum.
Yeah.
And that's what I think also gave us so much conviction on this new identity, which is we have everything that the Hero legacy has. And on top of that is the whole element of the Vida's movement.
It's very exciting. So you don't have to go to Silicon Valley for all of these things. It's happening right here.
I genuinely believe EVs kind of democratized access to everyone. It made a lot of level playing field for many of us. And I genuinely believe that India can become the EV hub for the world.
So clearly Vida is expanding into a lot of horizons. One of them I really want to touch upon is your association with sports.
Yeah.
I mean, Hero and sports go hand in hand. I remember seeing the Vida on the KKR jersey, but you also had a very in-depth collaboration. I mean, it goes beyond the jersey. So could you share about that?
No, I don't think anything has been more fun than that. I think, like you mentioned, Manav, Hero and sports. I don't know how much people know how much Hero does for sports. Like we work with the Paralympics, we are sponsors of hockey, and you know there's so much of integration of sports and Hero's own value system. I feel because we believe that this is about the India rising, this is about giving opportunities, giving access, right? So sports and Hero, I realized after joining, is a very, very strong bond, right? And then we said, of course, Vida is from the same legacy. How do we also kind of incorporate sports into it? But we are, I would say, wanting to do sports in a form that suits our brand values, which is a little bit more contemporary. And of course, no form of sports in India is more contemporary in that sense than IPL, right? It brings the best of two worlds. It's the love for cricket that we have as a nation, but it's also the added masala of the entertainment, of how the form factor is. It's a very engaging form factor. And then we said, okay, we want to be a part of sports, and we of course love cricket, so we want to be a part of cricket, but how do we kind of integrate with something like IPL? And that's when the opportunity came to collaborate with Kolkata Knight Riders. And again, while I would say that it's amazing to have the Vida brand on their jerseys, and I'll talk a little bit more, I think fundamentally, again, the meeting of minds, the meeting of two companies who think very similarly on how do you integrate culture into fabric, into sports, right? So KKR as a brand actually is a national brand. While they are, of course, a sports team from the East and they have a lot of fan following there, you'll find fan following for KKR across the country. East, by the way, is also the dominant market share for Vida today.
Okay.
So we are number one in a few states there. So that's, of course, a natural correlation. And we said that's one brand that thinks how they could integrate sports into culture and how they could integrate sports into everyday activities in fabric, right? And we said that's what Vida is. Vida is about how do we take a young brand, like you mentioned very early, we are a very young brand actually, and integrate it into conversations, into social fabric, because that's what makes a brand great. So we said, okay, amazing combination, because here's KKR and here's Vida, and we have to come together. And we really, really ideologically hit it off with that team as well. And then we said, of course, there's jersey branding, right? That you are the title sponsor, you're right there on the jersey. I would have to say, we almost took over Kolkata. I mean, you walked into Kolkata and it was KKR everywhere and Vida everywhere. So I think that point of it was very, very critical. But then, you know, the young team that I keep talking about, I don't think they do anything in half measure. So we said, Yeah, of course we're on the jersey, but what else? And what more? And what more? And what
So you
more?
didn't stop at the
We didn't
obvious
stop.
place, yeah.
And I think again, we realize that our greatest stakeholders, our biggest cheerleaders, and we always think of them in three buckets. Our biggest cheerleaders first our own employees. They love Vida. They are Vida. So we did a lot of activities that engaged our own teams, from going to watch matches, to box cricket, to a lot of competitions, to jersey winning elements, etc. So we were purple and gold across. The second big partner in our on our success has been our dealers. So again, we've integrated KKR with every one of our touch points. There's rebranding that's happened at the showrooms. There's been giveaways, but they've been a part of this journey, kind of integrating them into everything. And then the larger community at large. So of course we did beautiful kind of, I would say, above the line advertising, below the line advertising, but we want to also integrate into meaningful things. So we said every time Kolkata Knight Riders hits a six, we will install a public fast charger.
Oh,
right?
wow.
And we installed 111, which was really cool.
Wow.
And they could, we wish next season they hit even more. Right?
What a fantastic
Yeah,
motivator as well.
Exactly. So 111,
Yeah.
and we said, okay, this is just the journey, because again, our commitment to the ecosystem, with them. So even when we launched our new logo, the new logo mark, KKR reached out and said, look, we're partners beyond just the jersey. What can we do together? So very recently they've integrated our new brand and released something completely spontaneous from their side. So I think it's been a collaboration beyond just the title element. We also had this amazing anthem called Vida Vaka Voom, in which we did a hook step, which now people can relate was actually the Vida's new logo, which was coming on board. It was the last step on our anthem, again launched with KKR.
Wow.
And the privilege of hearing that at Eden Gardens before the matches began, again, awesome, goosebump moment. So I think KKR has been special because that relationship brought us into the living room of every ghar. And our line of Ghar Ghar E-Wooter, Ghar Ghar Vida, in many ways got channelized through KKR. So again, we're very excited. It's a long term,
Very multi-layered connection of
correct,
everything. Yeah?
And I think kudos to both sides. I think neither side kind of stopped innovating, thinking about integrations. And I think I must share, my most fun moment was giving away the man of the match.
Yeah.
And because I couldn't hear on the ground, because there was, I think the way the mics are structured, you're not able to hear. I did try several times to give it to the wrong person, because I was told there's a sequence at which I'm supposed to give it, and I could not hear anything.
Yeah.
So the minute I saw the person before me give it, I went to give it, and then Venki Mysore had to say, no, this is this is the other side captain who is coming in. So I think,
So such a giving culture we have. Yeah.
आप भी ले लो. Yeah, so there are a lot of these fun moments, and I think magical moments when dealers came with us to watch the match. Everyone, whether they were from Andhra Pradesh or they were from Maharashtra, wore the Kolkata Knight Riders jersey and cheered for the team.
Yeah.
Though secretly sometimes cheering for their own team as well.
Yeah.
So I think just that integration,
Yeah.
I think it became a part of our conversation, our thoughts. And of course, there are lots of numbers, Manav. The number of impressions we reached, which was crossing 1.5 billion, etc. But those numbers to me and the team here meant so much more, because now in every kind of conversation, Vida is right up there. Whether customers are looking at an electric mobility, customers are looking at a brand that kind of has technology and the familiarity of a scooter, all of it, we have become center and mainstream. And it's also, of course, helped that EVs overall have now become a mainstream conversation. So massive fun, massive fun, lots of learning.
Yeah.
Learning on that advertising or branding is very less about just moments on television or moments on digital. It's about how subconsciously that story starts resonating.
How one person recollects the brand. And that's where the storytelling comes in.
And then, of course, we also had the KKR special edition, which customers from South asked for. And we were like, that's the power of KKR, right?
Yeah.
You could create a KKR special edition, think it's going to sell in Kolkata and in West Bengal. People in South and Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu asked for that bike. So that's the power of great collaboration. And hopefully, I think the team always wants these kind of collaborations. No half measures, no just doing something tactical.
Mm.
We'll have to do what we have to do to make the awareness where it is, but deep associations that mean something for the brand, that would be our focus.
That's fantastic. I think it's been a great conversation today. One of the things, if I may share, what I've realized is that the energy is really palpable. I mean, I can sense it once I'm here in the office. I was sharing it with your colleagues when I came in here for our conversation. Right at the entrance, and we'll put some shots of that. There's a scooter that's
Yes.
parked and it's scratched. So I was like, what's usually a brand won't put a scratched scooter, but then I realized that was a scooter that was going all over the country
Yes.
during IPL.
Yes, with
and
Girish.
and of course during that journey it
Yes.
had some stories and scars on it, and you've maintained it, and it's
Yes.
right there when you enter the Vida office. You can see it on your screen. So clearly there's a fantastic energy going on at Vida. There's a new brand identity that's, I think, really well justifies what the brand is standing for today. And as you mentioned, a very young team and
Yeah.
lots of innovations. We are seeing different definitions of mobility coming from Vida, and that too at a global stage like EICMA. So I'm really excited to see where this heads in the coming future. So just to bring it to a close, how would you sum up Vida's next 5 years in a sentence?
Wow, that's in a sentence. I'm usually I have a lot of words to say a few things, but Vida will bring the future of mobility to India and the world.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Very powerful statement. Thank you so much, Kausalya, for your
Thank
time
you so
today.
much, Manav, for having us.
It was a great conversation, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.